So we're going to start in the NFC. We'll get to the AFC here in just a second, as you probably assumed. Like, I didn't even need to say that. People just like,
we always start. We're an NFC podcast, I feel like.
Giants,
I'm
Lions,
NFC blood, right? That's where I feel it, right. I was drafted by the Bucks, right?
Yeah,
but I grew up NFC world.
Me too.
So I always preferred the NFC
Me
first.
too. Sorry, AFC lovers out there. We'll start with the NFC. And so here are the odds. DraftKings has the odds to make the playoffs in the NFC. The 49ers are the favorite, the overwhelming favorite to make the playoffs over any other team in the NFC. Minus 525. It's Eagles after that, minus 250. Lions, Falcons, Cowboys, Packers, Rams, Bears. So those teams right now are favored to make the postseason, with the Buccaneers, Saints, Seahawks, Commanders on the outside looking in.
Eye-popping number there with the Niners to be basically, not double, but close to double the second-place team there in the Eagles. But I understand it, right? You get it? I mean, I do for the most part. I think they are the cream of the class of their division. So you think playoffs, I understand the 49ers not making the playoffs would be a shocking thing. So I understand that. Well, I wonder,
have you done that one before? Cream of the class?
Cream of the class? I don't know if I have. That might be a new one right there. A new Simmsism there, but I kind of like that actually right there. Yes, that's a good one.
But what class would have cream in it though? As that's the question,
well,
right?
The good one. The good part of the class.
Although I don't know, cream of the crop. What's the cream of the crop? Where does that come from?
Exactly right. I don't know. But I like cream of the class. It does add something to it. So we're going to stick with that for a little bit. But yeah, I think I understand those odds as far as playoffs are concerned. I'm sure if we got into Super Bowl numbers, they would not be quite the same there. But
no,
the 49ers are clearly, the team to beat in the NFC West.
And I'll just say this too. Yeah. I like to be the contrarian oftentimes. I like to think I'll be a little creative. It's just like, all right, what are people missing here?
Right.
I had a very hard time, both AFC and
being
NFC.
creative.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. The AFC you could be because there's so many good teams. The NFC you're kind of like.
I want to kind of pick some of the other, but there's weaknesses, and you're just like, can I really? I don't really believe in them that much.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. You want to be a little different. You try to look at teams. I do try to look at teams and go, wait, what is the new teams that are going to be infused into the conversation? Like you talked about last year with Houston being a part of that. And, every year we've seen 2 or 3 different teams be a part of the playoffs that weren't a part of it the year before. So I love to try to figure those out. But in the NFC, I'm with you. I had a hard time. I found 2 spots to do it. And not that I went out of my way to do it. I believe in them too. So it fit, right? AFC, though, believe is a different thing. Teams in the playoffs, there are more to pick from in the AFC, and that's for sure. And I listen, you're going to see here in a minute, I got a few teams that got a lot of talent, and I'm scratching my head. I'm writing it down in my notes. I'm walking away to get a little extra coffee yesterday morning. I'm like, damn, am I really going to keep that team out of the playoffs? Like, holy shit. And that's where the AFC is kind of a tough one there.
So, again, that's a tease for the AFC. So let's just do your seeds.
Yeah,
let's do your division winners.
Right.
In the NFC, who's your number 1 seed in the NFC?
I'm going with your Detroit Lions as the number 1 seed. Listen, the team we know, I think we've gone past the, do we believe in ourselves? Can we get there? I feel like now, like I said, listening to what they say up there, the things that are coming out of Detroit, they don't give a shit that they're the hunted. They believe they've arrived. They believe Super Bowl. I mean, really, they're kind of been saying Super Bowl or bust the whole offseason.
Which scares me a little bit. You don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse,
I hear you,
as they say.
But I think when you get to a certain quality of a team, it does not scare me, right? When teams like the 49ers and the Chiefs and now the Lions, right? And we could probably add another team or two, another team or two. The Bengals, they start to say things like that. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's enough of us to go, offensive line's awesome. Quarterback's damn good. Ooh, receivers are good. Awesome running back. Whoa, lots of size on the D-line. Oh, they improved the secondary, right? They got another pass rusher. So those things, like, I don't look at it that way. And then, I think they have a favorable schedule. Not that it's easy, don't get me wrong, but certainly in a spot where I feel like the first half of the year, they're better than a lot of the teams on their schedule, and I feel like they can get in almost to Thanksgiving going, hey, we're in a good spot here. Even if we lose a few games down the stretch, we're going to be in the play here for 1 seed, 2 seed, whatever, right?
I believe it's all but 3 times all year they play inside. They play in a dome for Jared Goff and that offense on turf.
Incredible.
It's gonna be great.
It is.
Great
It's 3
schedule
times. You're right.
in the regular season for them. Your number 2 seed, this is maybe a bit of a shock for some people.
Yeah, my number 2 seed, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Philadelphia Eagles, you know my thoughts on them. Team super talented. I would argue maybe it's the most talented roster in football.
But it was last year.
It was last year, and that's where, does the culture fix itself here, right? The Sirianni, the Jalen Hurts talk, the belief in the locker room. Now we got a new D coordinator, a new O coordinator, and all that. They are super talented. I will be shocked if they don't turn it around. I will be shocked, okay? I'm going to say the reason I picked them as a 2 seed, again, schedule early on, it's pretty tough. But I feel like there'll be a little bit of a learning curve, getting used to the new defense, new offensive coordinator and all that, to where like the last few years we were kind of like, the Eagles are starting 10-0. Like, let's just get over it. They're starting 10-0. The schedule's a joke. They're going to go 10-0, right? This year, I don't think it'll be that way. And I think with the way they're playing and some of the teams they're playing, when we get to week 10, they'll be one of the top teams in the NFC, but they're not going to be 9-1 or 10-0 like years past, right?
You will pick all the way through the bracket here, too, so that's still to come on all these teams. Your 3 seeds, the 49ers, what an interesting offseason it's been for them. Brandon Ayuk, that deal is done.
Exactly.
Trent Williams, at the recording of this pod, looks like they're heading towards a deal there.
Exactly.
Both should be available week 1. Ricky Pearsall over the weekend was shot in San Francisco.
Holy
shit. Best wishes to him and his recovery. Sounds like he'll be able to do that, but not play in the first few weeks of the season. So 49ers, with all that's happened, you can comment on Williams and Ayuk, too.
That's part of why I'm picking him as the 3 seed. Not only is it devastating that you lost the Super Bowl in the fashion you lost, and I do think that takes a toll on a football team. I don't care what anybody says, right? And that's why you don't see teams a lot of the times who lose the Super Bowl come back the next year and win it that next year. It's hard to do. The psyche of it, right? To climb that mountain again and go, wait, we were just on the top and now we got to start on the bottom and we got nothing to show for it. We got to do it again. Now they have first-class problems in the fact of, Ayuk and all that. That's great, but do I think Ayuk's going to be like all systems go week 1 against the Jets? Do I think that offense is going to be all systems go week 1? I mean, Shanahan, I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't think they've had a practice yet with their first-team offense. Today might be the first day. That doesn't bode well against the Jets, who are foaming at the mouth right now to go, we're here this year, we're real. Robert Saleh, I'm not getting fired. Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to show you this is the right move. I mean, so that's why. Just I'm giving quick synopsis here. And their first 3 games are sneaky. That's the other part of the Niners. Yeah, we know they could lose week 1 against the Jets, but then to go to Minnesota and the Rams, 2 coaches who have shown they understand how to move the ball against that defense, right, and understand how Shanahan thinks a little bit, I think it could be a little bit of a scary start of the year. I picture the 49ers kind of stumbling and finding their way for the first 10 weeks or so. Like, we might be sitting here going, hey, they're 5-5 or they're 6-4, and then they kind of put it together down the stretch to get in the playoffs. That's what I'm kind of envisioning. But because of the Trent Williams, Ayuk, McCaffrey hurt all training camp. I do think that Dre Greenlaw not going to be there. Hufanga just getting back. And I think it's coming to the last year or maybe the second to last year of the shelf life of this football team. So that's why I got them 3.
12-5 last year for as good as they were. They did beat up on the division 5-1. Maybe a little tougher this time around.
I think there's no doubt about that.
Better.
Seattle will be better. Arizona will be better. And we know the Rams are going to be a pain in the ass.
Your division winner in the NFC South is
the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, this is the 3rd year in a row I think I'm picking the Atlanta Falcons. This is the best I feel about it, though, now because of the quarterback situation, right? I still don't know what exactly Kirk Cousins is going to look like early on here, but I also am going to give him the bump of the Raheem Morris energy culture. They're excited about the year, right? Their offense will be different, and I think they made the right, their offense didn't need much on that side of the ball. They were pretty good. Defensively, got another safety, got another pass rush. I look at them and go, that's a pretty complete team. One of the more complete teams in the NFC. I'm taking them to win the South.
All right, so now your 3 wild card teams. Take me through your thought process on this.
Yeah, well, Packers are 5.
Okay.
I think the Packers are every bit as talented as your Lions and Eagles, 49ers. They're in that class of talent. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying if there was a cream of the class, as brilliant people say, okay, that would be one I'd look at and go, hey, the Packers are in that class.
At the end of last year and in the playoff, you could have made the argument that the Packers were the second best team
I've made the argument a lot this offseason that they were the better team on the field with the 49ers, right? I mean, I just feel like if Jordan Love had a little more experience, he had a little bit of a bad night. But let's be honest, the Green Bay Packers didn't capitalize on opportunities. The biggest thing from that game is that they dropped 5 interceptions, if you remember correctly, right? So, yes, but with all that, I know I said that to you after the game. Like, they were every bit as talented as the 49ers. We weren't like, oh, man, the 49ers didn't play good and, the Packers were lucky to be in the game. It was the opposite that game. It was like, damn, man, the Packers are kind of having their way. The 49ers are fortunate to come out on top here and play in the NFC Championship game. I think they're ready for the next step. I do. I look at them and go, I don't think there's many weak spots on their football team. I think a few people question their O-line. I get that, but I still think it's plenty good enough. I look at them and go, yeah, they're real deal, and I think Jordan Love will be even a different guy than what we saw last year.
Just talked about the NFC West being stronger. You have 2 teams in from the West. Your second is the 6th seed in the Rams.
The Rams. I love the Rams. I love the offense. I have no questions about it at all. To me, it's all about the defense. Do they have enough play? You know what I always say about these type of teams. It's a good defense, right? It is a new D coordinator or something there, but do they have enough sizzle and splash, right? Do they have a guy where, they're playing the 49ers in a big game or somebody else in the NFC that we can go, well, he'll get a sack in a big moment like Aaron Donald or somebody. Or he'll get a pick in a big moment, right? Like Jalen Ramsey did when he was in his prime with the Rams. I don't know. That's what scares me about the Rams is I know the defense is good, but it's the top-level talent of the defense, and it's young. That's where I have them, of course, not winning the West and being that 6th seed.
They were a good defense last year, better than most people thought.
Exactly right.
A very young defense last year. They're young again because they have Braden Fisk is a rookie, is slated to start.
Exactly right.
Jared Verse is a rookie, slated to start.
Right.
You got Kobe Turner last year, who was good. Byron Young last year, so second-year guys there. Defensive front, outside of Aaron Donald, is very young.
It's very young. It's unproven. There's a lot that I like. There's potential there, but it's all guys that are, in year 1, 2, or 3. And you just go, are they going to are certain guys going to take that next step to get on the scene here as a pass rusher or something like that? That's what I want to see there. But, I worry about their defense a little bit overall, and I got to see it to believe it, I guess is what I'm saying there.
So I picked my playoff teams. We have one more to go for you here still. I didn't seed them, but I put them division winners, all the same as yours.
Yep.
I put in wild card teams. The first 2 you mentioned there, Packers, Rams, I also have
got them in. Right.
We only differ on one.
In the NFC, we only differ on one.
In the NFC, just one.
You're riding with them again.
I have the Cowboys. I just can't give them up.
You just can't get off, huh?
I can't give them up.
I can't quit you.
And I would never put the Bears in as my most hated team in the NFC and NFL.
And because of that, I put them in.
So they're in for you. The Bears are in for you. The Cowboys are in for me.
Yep. Okay. Good. I think you knew this was coming.
You've been hinting at it for a while.
Yeah, I am, and this is one of those teams. I don't even feel like it's off the radar anymore.
I
feel like a lot of people are saying this, and we just saw that with our DraftKings betting and the odds there. I mean, people think the Bears will go to the playoffs.
They're actually favored. Yeah, they're favored to be a playoff team.
Defense is, I think, super talented. Right, and we know the offense is super talented to go along with it. I mean, that we do. Now it's just about the young guys, the quarterback, of course, Odunze. Can they come along to the capacity we think they're capable of? All right, that'll be the big thing. But, man, the way they ended the year last year, like I said, and I think they got a real deal QB here, I'm taking the Bears as my 7th seed. Yo, what's up? Thanks for watching, homies. You know it's the offseason, but there's no offseason with Chris Simms Unbuttoned. It's the NFL. It goes all year around, all right? So hit subscribe, please, to hear my thoughts on your favorite team, your favorite quarterback, and, hey, how this season might unfold as we get ready for the 2024 season. We got a better picture, clearer look now that the draft is over, free agency. We know who's playing quarterback for certain teams. So, again, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. Check you out soon.